Welcome to Riding Pine episode number something, season number 2. I know that part. I think it's like 22 or something. We'll call it like the Mike Bossy edition. It doesn't matter because none of these are in sequential order. So who really cares? You got myself, Mitch Anderson, the expert. Over to my left, you guys switched from last week.
You got the agent over here.
Perfect. To my right,
John's over here. Oh, I mean Harper.
screwed it all up.
Talk. What was with the Mike Bossy?
I love Mike Bossy.
We know that.
Yeah, we do.
I love the boss. So we are brought to you by Bo's All Natural Brewing Company. They are family-run, employee-owned, totally independent, brewing interesting, tasty, award-winning, all-natural, certified organic beers. I think I screwed up the last two. I think I flipped them. Either way,
you got it down pat.
perfect. We are drinking their signature beer, Lug Tread.
In a can.
In a can. You can get them in a can. You can get them in a bottle. My brother just sent me a picture this week. He's got them all the way up in Edmonton, Alberta.
Nice.
Shout out, Steve-O. So let's pour ourselves
Good job, Bose.
a brewskis.
How cool is it that you can go across the country and get this beer?
Pretty cool.
There's also some states down in the states. I'm not sure which one.
There's Bo's down in the States?
Yeah.
There's a couple states.
I think Maine's got some.
I guess New York State would be...
I would imagine so.
That'd be my guess.
The biggies.
Oh,
Right on.
this is definitely my favorite beer.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
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 Oh, you dropped your mic. You already cheered me. What are you doing over here? Dropping mics.
Sorry about that.
That's quite all right. So we are bringing on someone today to talk about the Ottawa Senators because we never talk about them ever. Way to go, Darcy. We bring one Ottawa Senators fan onto the show and we can't stop talking about
I
them.
know. We were just talking about it earlier. We're quickly turning into an Ottawa Senators podcast.
Although, to be fair, we're geographically in their catchment area.
Yeah,
I'd say
and
we have a
they're-
majority of Ottawa listeners.
That's true. And they're also dog shit, so it makes it a lot more fun and easy. Is that a swear word? That's
Yes.
not What?
Yeah. Brian's getting
too.
paid. Brian's getting
I got
paid.
no money. You want to use tissue for my kids?
We're gonna fire up. So who are we calling up?
We are calling up, I forget his, Spencer Callaghan.
That's right.
Yes, I got it. He's in charge of these billboards we got going up.
Hello.
Hello, Spencer.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, man. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. So we're gonna dive right in. But I called you earlier. Let's. You got Mitch here on the phone.
Yellow.
We got Darcy.
Hey, man.
So we got.
How's it going?
Good. Thanks for
Good.
coming on.
How's your night going?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Good. Got any adult beverages in front of you? Because we have some bows.
Well, it probably doesn't quite match what you guys have. I do have a glass of wine, which I know probably isn't appropriate.
No,
but
that's fine.
No,
That's fine. We used to
Yeah.
bring on Dre, who would always be like, I'm drinking some Chianti in the bathtub. Literally, he was drinking Chianti in the bathtub while on the show. So you're already a cut above.
So
that's fantastic.
So you've had quite the week. I think you were. I think you got these billboards going up next week. But we wanted to call you. We wanted to get you on here because we want to figure out what's going on and what you're about. So why don't you kind of tell us what the whole hashtag Melnykout, how did that start? And we'll kind of just take it from there.
Oh, sorry, you guys there?
Yeah.
We're here.
Sorry, my mic cut out there for a bit.
It's all
All
right.
good.
Well, I mean, I'm not sure how much of the story you guys know. I know you've been following it a little bit, but I mean, essentially, a lot of this started back at the Winter Classic or the Heritage Classic or whatever they called it, when Melnyk decided to use probably, other than the playoffs, one of the biggest celebrations of hockey in Ottawa ever, to throw Sens fans under the bus, and that upset a few people, I think, and
That's an understatement.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So I think, and just, I mean, everyone, people in the media keep asking me this. I did not invent the Melnykout hashtag. It just sort of, I'm not sure who invented it, but it kind of came up organically through the Sens Twitter sphere. And, it was a pretty clear indication when you have Melnykout trending, I believe it was Canada-wide on Twitter in the middle of the game,
Yep.
that Sens fans were pretty ticked off. But, I mean, the funny part is, that was really just the last straw. I mean, this has been building for more than 5 years now, right? I mean, Daniel Alfredson leaving twice, the multiple stories that everyone's heard about inappropriate phone calls to players and dressing room barging in and meetings with players and inserting himself in hockey decisions and telling fans to blow themselves up and, just all kinds of stuff that, that just are not normal behavior for an owner that's trying to, sell tickets. And so it's kind of been, brewing from there. And then really the breaking point was, when the Erik Karlsson stuff started to really hit a fevered pitch right before the trade deadline. I mean, I think most people had heard rumblings about Erik Karlsson and didn't really believe it. And in fact, if you look at the media, most of the media didn't, said, oh, it's not going to happen. And, there's just talk and it's not going to happen. And then the closer it got to the deadline, it was like, no, this is actually going to happen. And then even closer to the deadline, it was, oh, not only is it going to happen, but we're going to throw in every, dead weight contract we can think of in order to clear the books along with him. And I think that was really where it got to the point where it felt like that was a clear indication that this wasn't a team that was functioning properly anymore. I mean, it's one thing to trade Erik Karlsson as part of a hockey deal where you're trying to maximize an asset and get some value and get some draft picks and et cetera, et cetera. But when you start getting to the point where you're pretty much just throwing baggage overboard to keep the ship afloat, you've kind of lost most of the fans. And so I actually had seen a tweet from some New York Islanders fans.
Yeah.
And they were looking to put up a billboard on Long Island. Actually, I think they're in Brooklyn, actually.
That's right. There's 2 billboards up in Brooklyn.
I mean, I know the team is in Brooklyn. I mean, I think the billboards are in Brooklyn.
That's right.
And they were looking to put up a Snow Must Go billboard. And I believe on the day I saw it, I retweeted it and I said something like, this is an interesting idea. And I kind of sat on it for a week because I thought to myself, maybe I'm crazy. Like maybe I'm overblowing the sentiment here. And then that was about a week before the trade deadline when that happened. And then I think it was the Thursday or the Friday before the trade deadline, the Erik Karlsson stuff was going crazy. And all of a sudden Bobby Ryan's contract was being thrown in. And then it was just like, I think I'm seeing Sens fans, like 15, 20, 25-year Sens fans, season ticket holders, people who are just live and breathe Ottawa Senators fans, saying that they're done, like saying, I am done with this team. And the thing that really frustrates me is, and I still see this in some of the media stuff, is, it's this idea that this is because of one bad season. And the fact is that the one bad season is maybe a symptom of all the crappy decisions they've made for the past 5 years. But this isn't the reason, right? The reason is because the team has been poorly run for a good 5-6 years now. And so at that point, it's just, I decided to put the campaign up. At first I said to myself, if this, I believe I put it up online on 4 o'clock on a Friday, which in hindsight was a really bad idea. As a person in communications, I should have known not to release something on a Friday. So I said to myself, if this doesn't hit $1,000 by the time I go to bed tonight, I'm going to pull it tomorrow morning. And I went to bed that night and it was at 2,500. And I woke up the next morning. And it was at 4,500. And so at that point I was like, okay, this is a thing. This is something that people are actually feeling as well as me. So that's kind of how it went. And, I've been working behind the scenes with some other guys. I don't know if everyone knows Ryan Mance, who on Twitter is known as Ryan Classic. Mm-hmm. He has been heavily involved in as well. Ryan kind of had a similar idea at a similar time, and we've been working together on both the billboards as well as some other stuff. And we're working some other guys behind the scenes. I've got people helping me out with the graphic design and the artwork, and it's just been a lot of people contributing to the thing, because really, to be honest, it's getting a little frustrating to have this be about me, because it's not. To me, this is just really me. I mean, I'm a media guy, right? Like I'm in comms, I'm in communications, I'm in PR. I do this stuff for a living. And to be honest, I just saw it as an opportunity to take the things that I do for a living and take the skills that I have and use it to, help something that I'm passionate about, which is Ottawa Senators hockey. and also to sort of give other fans the opportunity to have a voice. And really, I mean, we have, I think, close to 500 donors on that campaign.
So like, that's the big thing, right? This is a catalyst, a movement for the fans, by the fans, to just kind of voice it out and put it out there. So like, yes, we've said it. Yes, the media is obviously tuned into what we're thinking, but we're feeling it so much that we're going to vote, or we're going to voice our concerns with our pocketbooks, with our wallets, and put it out there, and put it out on for everyone to see on billboards. Like, obviously, like you said, you didn't expect this to blow up as quickly as it did. And did you stop it at a certain point? Did you stop it once it hit 45, or were you thinking this could keep going, and then I don't know what we're gonna do?
No, so my original goal was 5,000, and we hit that in less than 24. I believe we hit 5,000 in something like 14 hours.
That's
which is
nuts.
Kind of crazy considering 8 of those 14 hours were in the middle of the night.
Some people are mad.
So yeah, so you know that. So we hit 4,500 pretty quickly, and when we hit 4,500, I was talking to a couple other guys. And we were like, okay, maybe we'll throw in, we'll do some more, do some newspaper ads and do some, maybe we would add more to the campaign. So I bumped it up to 6,500 in honor of our friend King Carlson.
Nice.
And so I bumped up to 6,500 just to sort of, see what would happen. And we blew past that goal in a matter of hours. And to be honest, once we hit 6,500, I actually stopped promoting it.
Yeah.
I didn't promote the link anymore. I had some Facebook ads running. I pulled the Facebook ads because I felt to myself, like I said, well, I don't really feel comfortable continuing to promote it past the goal. But even then, we hit 10,000 like a day later. I think we hit 10,000 on Monday or Tuesday. It might have been 2 days later. We had 10,000.
I think that's when the news came out, right? When the news said that it was going to go up the next day or the next week.
Yeah, exactly. So we, I did no, sort of online promotion after we hit 6,500. And then it just sort of, the news media got a hold of it. And then of course, Twitter and, a lot of people just sharing it. I think the page has been shared more than 2,000 times.
So it just got likes of its own at that point.
And not liked, but shared 2,000 times, which is kind of crazy. And so it blew up and it's past 10,000. I think we're like close to 10,500 now. And again, I haven't promoted it in any way in a couple weeks now. I'm just sort of leaving it open. I'm probably going to close it down pretty soon because, as you said, we had the billboards coming out on Monday, which was the big component of that. We do have a couple other things planned, and then our goal is to take whatever money is left over and donate it to Send Foundation.
Can you let us know what what your other plans are?
Pardon me?
Can you let us know what the other plans are? You said you've got a couple billboards coming out on Monday.
We got the billboards coming out. We are planning a newspaper ad. So I don't have the full details on that yet, but we're planning a newspaper ad probably in the Ottawa Sun for sometime next week or the week after. I don't have a date on that yet. The billboards are running for 2 weeks. And then there's actually, so I don't know if you guys know how billboards work. I certainly did.
It's not something that I think any of us are well versed on. This is obviously an industry that is now being rejuvenated. There's 3 billboards to the movie. Yeah. There's the Senators billboards, the Islanders billboards. Yeah. So what does it take like to what goes into the process of that?
Must be digital, yeah.
Well, the billboards were one of the challenges there was we originally wanted to get a billboard close to the Canadian Tire Center.
Right.
And it turns out that every billboard near the Canadian Tire Center is booked until fall. And so, we kind of saw this as a, kind of an urgent thing. Like, we want to get this out before the draft, actually, ideally before the end of the season. And definitely before the draft, because, I mean, let's face it, there's a high chance that Erik Karlsson is gone. And just to be clear, this isn't all about Erik Karlsson. I see the Erik Karlsson situation as a symptom, not a cause.
Right.
But we kind of wanted to get that sentiment out now. And so really, so then because of that, we ended up looking elsewhere in the city. So we ended up with 5 locations. 4 of them are running for 2 weeks starting Monday. And there's another one that's running for 1 week starting the following Monday, I believe. And it's in a more prime location, actually right on Bank Street,
nice.
Fairly close to Lansdowne Park, actually, I think. That one, the goal for that one is that it'll be running during the last home game of the season. And so it's, this is really the plan. The goal here is,
there it is.
I don't.
Well, it's already what they closed.
So just based on all the people I've heard who are dropping their season tickets or refusing to go to Sens game again, 1,000 next year. And the problem there is that if the team is averaging 12, 13,000 a game, what you're going to get is you're going to get, and with all due respect, you're going to get a bunch of Toronto media coming in and saying Sens fans are awful. You're going to get, hotheads like Don Cherry saying move in Quebec City. And what'll happen is there'll be a vacuum where basically it'll be up to these talking heads in the media to put a narrative on top of why the Sens fans aren't going.
So how do we control the narrative then?
Well, that's what we're trying to do, right? Okay. The whole reason why we're doing this is to say, no, this is why we're not going. It's not because we don't love the Ottawa Senators. It's not because they had one bad season. Like, honestly, if this were all about one bad season, you should probably move the team because we're horrible fans, right? Like, I would fully endorse calling Ottawa Senators fans horrible fans if this were all about one bad season, but it's not. This is about 5-6 years at least of slowly degrading leadership and management. And when you talk about leadership and management, you say, okay, there's the owner and the president and the CEO and the general manager. But the problem is that all those guys are gone.
They're all the same people now.
There's not one single person left on that team who's been there the entire 5-6 years, except for one guy. So this is not, I'm not targeting, or we're not targeting Eugene Melnyk because we don't like him or because it's personal. It's because when you have a situation where the team is so poorly run and everyone else has been thrown overboard, who else can you point at but the captain, right? I mean, there's really nothing else to do.
Yeah, but let's face it is personal, and as a Sens fan, I don't like him, so it's okay to say that.
And that's fair. I mean, it's fair for people to not like him, but for me, I'm trying to make this less about, one person and more about the fact that the team is just being poorly managed and the fans are being poorly served.
Right.
And
it's more about,
really, that's what this is about.
More about the organization than the person.
Is there any fear whatsoever from your side at all about, maybe next year, you're right, there's 12 or 13,000 per game that would put them at the lowest in the NHL, right behind the Islanders?
Wow, thanks for that.
No
thanks
problem.
For that.
Just thought I'd mention that. But is there any concern that somebody like Melnyk may get frustrated, upset, sell the team to someone who doesn't intend on keeping in Ottawa? You worried about that at all?
Well, look, I mean, anything's possible, but I think there's a couple of things at play here. One is, as much as Eugene Melnyk owns the hockey team, the NHL owns the market, right?
That's right.
Teams don't own their markets; they own their teams, and the NHL is the one who decides where teams go, not owners. So, Eugene Melnyk could sell it to, a rich steel tycoon from Japan, and it doesn't mean the team's going to move to Tokyo. So it's the NHL who decides where the teams go. But really the biggest factor, and I mean, put all sentiment aside, like put any pro-Ottawa, pro-Senators, pro-Canadian thoughts aside, and just think about it this way. The Ottawa Senators are currently a principal in a $4 billion land deal at LeBreton Flats.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who is going to walk away from that?
Exactly.
No one. So whether it's Pierre, the Pelodeau family or whoever it is that buys it, Bell Canada, Rogers, Air Canada, who cares? It doesn't matter who buys it. No one would be crazy enough to walk away from a $4 billion land deal. So, just the fact that is there, that alone makes it a valuable investment. Forget about the hockey team. It makes it a valuable investment.
That's right.
But then, let's be frank, Ottawa's a good hockey market. There's nothing wrong with Ottawa as a hockey market. There's been some fundamental problems with the Ottawa Senators as a hockey team or as a hockey franchise or as a business. Absolutely. But there's nothing wrong with Ottawa as a hockey market. I mean, the arena was poorly placed from the beginning.
Okay.
there all kinds of mistakes were made. But the fact is, Ottawa's a good market, and to be quite honest, he can threaten all he wants, but I would suggest the chances of the team moving are extremely slim.
So obviously you believe that if all the variables were right, such as like you said with the arena, then there wouldn't be this perception that Ottawa's a fickle market. Well, if they're not winning, they don't go to games. Well, there's a lot of factors involved in that, like namely transit. That's obviously lessened over the years, the distance to the arena, and then there's all the emotional factors of the not winning, or the trading of their best player, or the not signing your best player when it came to Alfredson, or not signing him when he wanted the money that he fully deserved. So like there's all these variables that had they gone the right way or had been dealt in the proper way, that would have gone there. That would have helped things a lot more, and then would have probably taken away the stigma that this is obviously not a good market. So I guess that's a long-winded saying. I agree with you that Ottawa is a good market. You just got to give them what everyone else has in a good market, like a downtown arena, like reasons to come to the games, like a winning team. Like if all those things were there, this team would be successful in terms of economics, I would imagine. And we wouldn't have to deal with this Eugene Melnyk saying, I'm going to move the team every 3 years.
Yeah. And I mean, like Ottawa has some challenges. Obviously the fact that we don't have a strong corporate base is a problem. The fact that the federal government are not allowed to gift tickets, to have tickets gifted to them is a problem. But even putting all that aside, there's plenty of hockey fans and there's plenty of economic activity in Ottawa to support that hockey team. The problem with the Ottawa Senators has been poor management. End of story. And that's basically, to be quite honest, that's been since day one. Like since 1992, the team has been horribly run. Now, the difference is that some of the horrible owners actually had their heart in the right place and wanted to do the right thing, but just didn't. Whereas other ones don't really, can I swear?
Sure, go for it. We have an E rating, but that just means we have to pay producer Brian. So Harper will pay producer Brian for you.
I got $2 in my pocket. Go for it.
There you go.
Anyway, but some of them just don't care. Like some of them, there's a different, like there's bad owners that care and there's bad owners that don't care.
That's right.
We've had both, unfortunately. And, that's one of the downsides of having a city with not a lot of corporate head offices, is that we don't have a lot of rich billionaires running around wanting to buy hockey teams.
No.
So our pickings are relatively slim. So, that's not necessarily Ottawa's fault. It's just a fact of this market.
That's right.
But there's plenty of opportunity for a team to be successful here under the right leadership.
Well, I hope that this campaign goes in, let's say, everyone's favor, Ottawa Senators fans' favor. I'm a Habs fan, so I'm indifferent in whatever happens, but I do believe that this is a hockey market. But I want to thank you, Spence, for coming on. Thanks for sharing your story. I know you said it's not about you, but it is about, them as a market and this team staying here.
As a fan base, yeah.
As a fan base. So we're going to support you, and we're going to make sure that we get this out there as best we can. And again, thanks for coming on.
Thanks a lot, buddy.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, buddy. Talk soon.
Awesome. I think it's great. I love it. I love how he's like, we're not trying to single out one specific person, that the billboard is like 10 feet long that says Melnykout.
Yeah. It's
Exactly.
You got to have it catchy.
I understand
what catchy though.
I understand what he's saying, but it is targeting this one guy. Let's get real.
You ask anyone, Joe Ottawa Senators fan, and that's what they're going to say.
Yeah.
But I understand, like, when you have a message like this, you have to craft something that's catchy.
Yeah.
Right. Or else it's not going to work.
My overall thought is I love what he's doing. I think it's great. Is it going to make a difference? Is Eugene Melnyk, the billionaire living in Barbados, going to actually read these and say, you know what, I better sell a team. These guys don't want me here anymore.
Like, there's going to have like some, what's the word I want to use? Some subconscious effects on his decision making.
Like sure repercussions, or is he going to think a little bit differently?
Yeah.
He already knows this is going on. He already knows he's unliked.
And in the letter that we spoke about that he addressed to the public, like, he didn't mention Carlson. He didn't mention any of this Melnyk.
I'm sorry, you're insulted by my words.
He didn't even say that.
Doesn't give a flying fadoo.
But that's the thing. When you say that, there's no sentimentality behind it.
It's a good way to save $2 there. Fadoo. You know what? I hate that word so much that it's a swear word from now on.
Fadoo?
Yeah, that's a terrible word.
It's terrible. I've never heard it, and I hate it.
Me too.
With every fiber in my body.
buddy.
$4.
It's worse than saying the F word.
Yeah, that is
Yeesh.
that is offensive.
Yeah. Okay. Do we want to move on to something else?
Let's do
We
it.
sure do.
Okay. So after our first segment, we like to go into a little thing that we call our 5-minute major, where two of us try to convince the other one of us on a specific argument. We got 5 minutes to make the case. Table talk is encouraged, boys. Today I'm the judge because I'm 0-2 because I'm clearly a dummy.
It's a good thing you're right between us because it's gonna get heated.
It is.
Okay. Oh wow. All right.
Get heated.
I don't know what the topic is.
Not yet.
The judges every week have no idea. The two of us that are actually playing will confer with each other off. What is it? Off chat. We chat through WhatsApp. Anyway, so what's the topic today, boys?
The topic is whether or not, as a team, you should tank.
Okay.
We're seeing a lot of tanking going on right now.
Wow. Who's got the pro?
Tanking or no tanking?
Yeah. Who's got the pro tanking? Who's got the anti tank?
He's got pro tanking.
Good luck.
I got anti tanking.
Wait, no. Sorry. Anti tank. Good luck.
Oh,
Yeah,
I like
it's,
this.
Well, I guess I already gave away my lead, but we'll see. Okay, I am open to suggestions. Am I
Yes.
allowed to table talk, or is it just you two guys? Am I allowed to interject?
No, we said last week that the ref is not allowed to interject.
The judges,
So
yes.
I shut my pie hole last.
So you two
Yes.
guys are allowed to just go at it, and I have to sit here and be like, yay or nay, slowly to the camera. Okay.
You don't even have to do it to the camera. You could just tell us later.
So 5-minute major.
Yeah.
You're up.
Okay. Who's going first?
I don't have a coin to flip.
You want me to go first or you want to go first?
Go ahead.
Okay, go Darcy.
I mean, I think it's a no-brainer that you've got to tank as a team.
Let me put the time on here because we gotta have 5. Oh, I'm not even doing it right. I did my stupid calculator.
Yeah, that's a calculator.
Yeah, I'm an idiot. I just said it before. I'm dumb. So I think I know these things and I don't. Clock. There.
Oh.
So you're counting it down.
Yeah. Well, what's the difference?
All right. Well, like I was saying, I think you have to tank as a team. It's a no-brainer. As a player and as a coach, you're never going to tank. Okay, so it's got to start from management. You have to embrace the tank. Player and coach.
The team's got to.
But the team will never, because you're never going to put a player and expect him to play down so that somebody else could take his role in the next 2 or 3 years by tanking. But as management, what you have to do is you've got to shut these guys down. You have a sore ankle, you're shut down. You're done for the year. You got a hangnail, done for the year.
Hangnail.
Yeah, like right now, you don't think Mark Stone wants to play? I know he wants to play. They're shutting him down.
Oh yeah.
We're going full tank. So, I mean, if you want to have a shot at the next best guy, I like how the NHL doesn't really reward you per se for tanking as much as the NFL does. You finish last in the NFL, you're getting first overall pick no matter what. Okay, that's not the way it is here, but if you're last place, you still have an 18% chance of getting the first overall pick, and that's better than second last, which is 11. So you have to go for the full tank in order to get the first overall pick. And my last point, because I think this is an open and shut case.
Wow, confidence.
I'm
Sorry,
feeling it.
I gotta shut up.
I'm feeling it. The last reason for me is that in the last decade, there has not been one Stanley Cup winner that didn't have either a first or second overall pick on their roster when they won the cup that had made an immediate impact, and a major immediate impact.
So you're saying that there wasn't a first rounder on that team in the last 10 years?
No, there wasn't. Not. There was. There was a first overall.
God, I love double negatives.
I hate them.
God, just say it. Just
So
say it.
there
They
was
all
either-
had a first or second round pick, either a first or second round pick
Not
overall
round. Overall, first in the first
that made
round.
an immediate impact on their roster to win a Stanley Cup.
Correct.
There you go.
So
Okay.
rewarding tanking, it's good for the sport because it promotes equilibrium.
Competition.
Well,
Parity?
good competition.
Yeah, parity,
Parity's the
equilibrium.
better-
Yeah, just
Parity's
Perineum? No, that's the thing under the.
yeah, that's definitely.
it promotes parity, so you've got to embrace tank.
I can realize that you've gone through the birthing cycle 4 times here.
Too
bud,
many
but
times.
Get out of
I've
it.
seen too many.
Okay, let's hear
turn.
the anti-tank. Why is tanking bad? I assume that's your
Tanking
argument.
is bad because
Okay.
one,
Okay.
players will never buy into it. Okay, and
Sure.
if you do get
That's
the players
true.
to buy into it, it's just going to be a detriment to your team, and it's hard to, play like you practice like you play. You can't practice to be bad.
No.
You can't say, okay, boys, we're just gonna play the 5-man trap in our offensive zone.
And then win the Stanley Cup like the New
Yeah.
Jersey Devils.
So you gotta practice like you play. You can't tank, and also it doesn't guarantee you anything. Tanking will not guarantee you anything. And I'm gonna give you an example. And you, Darcy, we're gonna go down the list.
I think I know this example.
And we're gonna do 10 years, and you just say bust or no bust. Okay?
Yeah.
Edmonton Oilers.
Right.
In the last 10 years, I'm gonna give you their first round picks. Gagne in 2007. Bust or no bust?
Well, he had an 8-point night. He's bust.
Bust.
And one night, he's not. Listen, he's okay.
Yeah, he's
I wouldn't call him a bust. Like a bust is like Neil Yakupov.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Eberle.
But Yakupov's definitely on that list.
He is.
I'm sure. Yeah, he hasn't got there yet.
So you got 2008. You got Ebbs.
I mean, you're only going through Edmonton. I could go through all the other teams that haven't busted their
did
first
you say
round.
Ebbs?
Well, he's gone.
Who's but Eberle was just a first round pick.
He was the first one. He went 22nd overall. But
Yeah,
I'm just saying second. Like, look at that team.
But that's no longer tanking territory. 22nd overall is like that's playoff territory.
That's from a trade, though. There's no way they finish playoffs that high.
But that's the thing. If we're talking tanking, we're talking first or second, maybe even third overall.
Right.
Yeah.
We're talking
So,
like high.
In
high,
2009, Magnus Puljujärvi went 10th.
Okay.
So that's right
Just
there.
scored 3 goals in 2 games. I don't know
Yeah.
if you've been paying attention.
So, but that's still a bust.
be fair,
2010 was Taylor Hall. He gone, right?
It might be the MVP.
Yeah, but he's still gone. Like their asset management is terrible.
But now we're getting into a management problem, not a player problem. That guy he's a gem. He could win the Hart Trophy.
But what I'm saying here is that tanking doesn't even getting the first round pick. So how many?
Now
first
we're
round,
talking about being terrible managers.
So no, but you can't. If you're gonna get a first round
you
pick,
can
you're gonna get the Nuge. You're gonna get Yakupov, who was a bust.
That's right.
The
Okay.
Nuge bust. He's still he's a player, but he's still a bust. Hasn't contributed
Okay.
much to that team.
And that McDavid kid. Bust.
McDavid's kid is okay.
Hard bust.
So Leon Draisaitl and McDavid are the two kind of stars of this. Jesse Puljujärvi, no thank you, and Kailer Yamamoto, whatever. So what I'm saying is that you're not guaranteed to win a Stanley Cup just by tanking, and I'm gonna one more point because you cut me off. You are not guaranteed, and by doing so, you could potentially put yourself just like the Edmonton Oilers for the next 10 years down in the basement and making the playoffs here and there. You have no guarantee. So tanking is the worst
Wrap
idea.
it up, B.
Worst idea, and you
Okay.
should just play for the fans, give them some entertaining stuff to do, and be a professional.
Okay. Good arguments, boys, but I'm pro tank. Sorry, Harps. You weren't gonna win that one right away. And the only reason I'm pro tank is because it's in the rules. If it wasn't in the rules, or if the NHL had, so you're allowed to tank. There's no rule against. It's like the Airbud rule. You're allowed to tank all you want.
Yeah.
If you so want to, and you're rewarded for doing so. So I say go for it. If you're allowed to do it, go for it. If they're gonna put rules in place where you're not allowed to tank and someone goes around it and tries to tank anyways, then sure, I'm against it. I don't like the idea of losing on purpose, and the only way you can do it is like Darcy said, and that
Shutting players down.
Yeah,
Like-
and just like you said as well, it's just like Toronto did like 3 years ago, right? Or 2 years ago, they took everyone out that had a pulse. And so that you're only left with crap on the ice, and that your only option is losing. Even if these guys, like you say, they practice like they play, they're gonna lose. They're gonna lose. They're terrible. I don't care about teams tanking. I really don't. You want to tank? Go for it. Because
I think
like
if you're gonna
say,
tank, you better tank. I can't stand it when you're in a tank battle and trying to get last place, and then you're beating teams that are like number 2, number 3 seed.
Yeah, you're Ottawa going into Florida and sweeping the Panthers, and
it's Montreal. Montreal's hitting the sore spot for him right now.
Really, 7 games in a row, they got a point.
See what I mean? And he's right.
Yikes.
He's right. Like Montreal shut down Carey Price. They shut down Shea Weber. Although, like in a way, this is kind of good because you're like, our crap team is still beating other teams.
I don't know. Have you guys noticed that the Arizona Coyotes have won
Yes.
8 of their last 11, and they've actually passed Buffalo?
Dylan Strome, baby.
Darcy Kemper or whatever his name is.
Kemper, yeah.
Yeah, Kemper.
That
Yeah.
is my boy.
Because he won you that round to
So,
Blaine.
They're
fantasy update. So we're now into our semifinals. Mitch was on a bye week.
Because I was so
and
good.
I'm playing him this week. We're tied right now. So here's what happened. Last day, it was
Set the scene.
It was Sunday night.
Whoa.
Sunday
Stormy night. It was snowing.
It was a snowy night.
There you go.
Stupid weather. So here's what happened. I was losing 5-4,
Yeah.
and Darcy Kemper was in nets, and that's the only player I had playing that night.
Ugh.
And he had nobody. Or he had one guy. So we to tie. So then I needed him to out. I tied. I win.
So expect a Christmas card from the Harpers, Darcy Kemper, because he is pumped.
Yes.
Hashtag pumped.
And now I'm going to beat Mitch.
Whatever, bring it.
So we got on that by saying that Arizona is now all of a sudden not the worst team in the league. Buffalo is. Buffalo got thumped again tonight.
Yeah, Buffalo is illusion. So I'm pro tank only because, like, why not? There's no reason not to tank. If you're so bad right now and you're going, there's no way we're going to win, screw it, ship it, dial it in, we're going to tank. I'm all for it. So sorry, Harper, you weren't going to win that one to start, but
okay.
It was a good attempt. Good try by you. Do we want to go to our second little topic before we get to our next little
Let's do
little
it.
fun time? So speaking about teams that are on the rise, the Florida Panthers, I don't know if you've noticed, are on the rise. Since December 31st, they've put up 36 points on the board with a 17-10-2 record, which is insane. They were previously out of the playoffs. They are still out, but they're only out by a few points with games in hand.
So they were sitting at 65 points before tonight. Florida had 3 games in hand. Tonight, it looks like the Florida Panthers are beating Boston 3-0.
Beauty. Oof. Take that, Boston.
But I believe Carolina just finished beating Philadelphia. I will double check that.
Oh, wow.
I like that team.
Still
I like
sucks
the
for
Boston
my
team.
Islanders, who lost 7-2 to the...
Yeah, but the team that's got to watch out, and this is what we've been talking about for the last little while, was the team that's got to watch out is the Devils. Yeah. Because Columbus is streaking right now too. They're 7-3 in their last 10.
Officer Bobrovsky's coming back. Look out, Harps. He's on my team.
Yeah, so it looks like
so is Zach Werenski.
Yeah. But Florida's still got to go. I mean, yeah, they are playing great. They're 8-1-1 now, 9-1-0 in their last 10. They're playing fantastic. Thing that there's 14 games left in the season for them. They've got to go in books. They've got to go 10 out of 14.
It's the old Ottawa Senators.
It's not quite, but it's close
too.
Close.
It's very close. They've got to go about 10 of the last 14 to have a shot.
I want to ask you guys what's more impressive, the Florida Panthers run that they're going on right now, or Austin Matthews knowing where Regina is?
I'm going to go Florida.
Yeah. Okay. Would it be more impressive if Austin Matthews knew where Regina was, or that the Florida Panthers, before you knew that they did this, so December 31st, I tell you Florida Panthers are going to be going for a playoff spot.
I feel like Austin Matthews is so young. The only thing he knows is where Spawn Island is in Fortnite. Like, that's all he knows, where to go, and like where to pick up the best loot. He's like the youngest kid playing with fidget spinners.
What did you just say?
Yeah, I have no idea. I know what the fidget spinner is, but I didn't know what the Fortnite.
Fortnite, like he plays that. Apparently, that's all they play.
Well, I know that's a big game because Drake and Ninja had
that was an amazing video. By the way,
600,000 people. 600,000 people watched them play this stupid game.
Yeah, there's a big watching people play video games thing.
It's insane.
You
well,
get paid for it too. Like, people give you donations.
I'm gonna try doing it.
I had a buddy of mine who's
Fortnite
like,
because I'm not good, but
I have a buddy of mine who listens to the show, and I'm gonna embarrass him a bit, but he was actually like looking into getting a Twitch account and like quitting his job to play video games. I think he tried. I think like 3 people watched. It was like no donations.
Friend, get in touch. We'll set this up. We'll set up a Twitch account. We'll do it.
It's hard, man.
I'll hook it up.
You gotta be.
I'll hook it up.
Perfect. We'll switch that up. So the Florida Panthers. What's more impressive? Your kid doing exactly as you say the first time you ask, or the Florida Panthers going on this run?
For me, it would be my kid doing exactly as I say because she's 7 months.
That would be impressive.
It would be.
My
Harper,
kids
you
always
have
do what
4.
I say because I'm a drill sergeant.
My kids do not. They listen. They listen
So
eventually.
Florida again for you.
Yeah, Florida again for me. Knowing Scott Mason actually won the Calder Trophy.
I don't even know who Scott Mason is.
Sorry, did I get that wrong?
Scott Mason?
Who's the goalie for
Steve Mason.
Steve Mason. Wow, I wrote Scott. What a dummy. Of course that would be impressive.
I gotta reread your
Yeah, I send it to both of you guys, and I get no edits. Just, it's good. This is what happens.
Who's Scott Mason?
Yeah.
I'm gonna look him up. Hockey DB Scott.
If you won a Calder Trophy, I want all your beers.
What happened? Hi.
That's hilarious.
What's more impressive, Alexander the Great crossing the Alps or the Florida Panthers being where they are now?
Florida. I could have done that back then.
It was also just, he was a war general.
It's sheer determination. You're gonna do it.
You're going to do that with elephants. Elephants across the Alps. With elephants across the Alps.
So Scott Mason played 4 games in the ECAC
So like just a cut below.
Was he a goalie
NHL.
though?
Just a cut below the NHL, probably 5 or 6 levels.
I
No,
could probably play in
Just
that
a
league.
cut above the Bangladesh league.
he was a sniper in 89 or in 98, 99. He scored 1 goal in 4 games.
Ooh, that looks like my record. In the
So
experience.
that if this guy won the Calder, then yes, that would have been more impressive. but
Try not to spit my beer on my mic.
but because Steve
sit
Mason
on the equipment.
because Steve Mason won it, I'm gonna go Florida.
Okay, good
Yeah.
enough. All right, fair.
Hey, this is setting up to be like a pretty sweet, maybe first round Tampa, Florida.
Oh, that would be so
That would
amazing.
be cool.
That would be sick. I would watch that series.
That'd be so
hard.
beneficial to Tampa because they'd
Yes.
probably sweep them. They would have to get in their car to drive to the games. It's not even
Yeah.
like they're flying. And then no travel, no wear and tear. You're playing 2 home games, 2 away games, and
Yeah.
That's
I
it.
mean, I would think it would be a sweep, maybe 5.
Arguably 4 home games.
I don't know. It
Yeah.
probably wouldn't be a sweep.
I think so. So what do you think? Florida would win game 3 at home?
No, I think it goes to 7.
Whoa, no.
Mark my words.
Okay.
It's 9:47 on March.
No, I write it down. I
have
write
it in
everything
pen?
down.
Yeah, write it down.
I write it down.
Write it down.
Harper thinks Florida, Tampa, assuming that happens, round 1 going 7 games.
Yep. Bobby Lou gets 2 shutouts. Bold prediction.
Bobby, well,
38
you're doubling
year-old.
down hard.
38-year-old Roberto Luongo, after playing a long season and being injured, is going to get 2 shutouts against Nikita Kucherov, Steven Stamkos, Miller.
Listen, if you could put money on that, I'd say do it. What would you give him as odds on that? Like plus 800?
I'll find a bookie to take that.
Like that's insane.
Plus 800? No, it'd be like plus 8,000.
There you go. Perfect. That's some good odds. $10 gets you $80,000.
So Harps, who
Take
wins
my-
Game 7? Give it to Florida. Give it to
It's
Florida.
gonna
Give it
Florida.
to
They're
Florida.
both in Florida. I go Florida.
No.
No.
Give it- Who wins?
Tampa or Florida?
I'd say
Sorry,
Tampa.
Tampa
takes that
Okay.
if they go back home.
7 games. I'm saying 5.
I'm saying 4.
Okay, fair enough.
Here's to hoping they make it into the playoffs together. Play against each other.
So what's the secret of the success for the Florida Panthers? Is it Roberto Luongo? I don't even know anyone's name today. I don't know anyone's
Youth
name.
and management asset.
It's Robert
Asset
Luongo
management.
and Scott Mason. The
Perfect.
The duo. Nasty duo.
I like that youth. Huberto, Trocheck, Elkblad,
Jason Huberto?
Jason Huberto.
I think I know him.
Look, I think honestly, and you didn't even mention Barkov, did you?
No.
So Barkov was the 2nd overall pick to McKinnon that
Yeah.
year. I truly believe if he wasn't, and I mean, if he wasn't in Florida this year, he'd have maybe in the conversation for the Hart. He's been unbelievable. He's 18th in the league in points.
That's not high enough. Even if he's in any other market, if he's 18th in points, he's not going to make the Hart.
Yeah, but it's maybe a discussion, and it should be
No.
because he's carried that team this year.
Sure. Okay. If you're going based on that criteria alone,
I mean, most
I can take that
valuable
argument.
player. I know what
To his team, though.
I know.
That's the award. So I'll give you that
Yeah.
on that basis.
Although it never goes that way.
no, it's
because
usually whoever
I
scores
don't
the most
think
points.
Kucherov's winning it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Stamkos to me is the
Stam-
trophy on that team.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
from missing the playoffs to
This is my
now
ugly
being-
face. That was an ugly statement.
Well, I mean
We called
last
that the other day.
Last year they missed the playoffs.
Yes.
And then he comes
Why
back
did-
and just goes on a tear.
Well, so did Kucherov.
Yeah, but
What about
Kucherov is
Vasilevsky?
Vash.
So you're giving Vasilevsky.
I never
more-
said any of that.
The
I just-
Hart's not going to a goaltender
Why in the heck not? It did to Carey Price. didn't
because his name is not Carey Price.
it? Oh my God.
And he's not in Montreal.
Do you see what we have to deal with here?
Homer.
You see what we have to deal with? It's insane.
Hey, there's a new documentary out. It's called The Springfield something.
Wow.
It's about
Sounds-
Homerson.
What a plug.
Sounds riveting.
What
No,
a
it's
plug.
The Springfield legend. It's the story of Homer Simpson. It's hilarious.
Okay.
Nice.
Fair enough. Unrelated to anything.
Moving on.
So Hart Trophy, it's got to be Taylor Hall.
Ugh.
We talked about this last week. I don't know why you thought I was going to go with Kucherov. It's got to be Taylor Hall.
It's not going to be Taylor Hall, and
Alright,
the
fine,
reason is because there's only ever been one. And follow me with this one. There's only ever been one Hart Trophy winner ever in the history of the NHL on a team that didn't make the playoffs. And what I'm saying there is the New Jersey Devils are going to.
No,
miss the
I
playoffs.
got that point. I got it.
And the only winner of that year was Mario Lemieux in 1988, and he absolutely blew the league out of the water.
Right.
Hall's not even leading the league, so I don't think so. I think he's
fair
been
enough.
incredible.
Assuming they make the playoffs, though?
Still no.
All right, you hate
Okay,
Taylor
I have
Hall.
a duo for you.
He's my second.
Pick
what's
one of two.
Okay.
Okay. Would you rather have Malkin and Lemieux or Crosby and Yager?
Ooh.
Malcolm Lemieux.
Ooh.
Give me the 66.
Oh man. I go Crosby and Yogs.
I mean, that's a sensitive topic for me. This guy was my favorite hockey player until this year. So, but Lemieux and
Lemieux.
and Malkin.
Give me Lemieux every day, all day.
A healthy Lemieux, like a
Obviously,
Everybody in their
Peak.
prime. Everybody in their
Everyone
prime.
at their peak.
I think Lemieux is the best of those four.
Easily. There's no question.
And I don't think Malkin gets enough credit. He's better than Yager at his peak. So I'd have to go 1 and 3.
He's better than Yager at his peak.
You know what? It might be 1 and 4. Malkin might be a little bit lower than Yager. So yeah, I'd say Lemieux, Crosby, Yager, Malkin. So that's a tough one. That's actually very good.
That was a good one for sure.
I just came up with that.
You got some good ones going
all
on.
up in the noodle.
It's because of the Tiger Woods hat or the
It's the lid.
Ricky
The
Fowler hat.
Tiger Woods. Oof.
Crosby Yager would have been dirty. I'm going that way.
There you go. Okay, so now we play Stanley Stumpers, which is something we do every week. And the idea of Stanley Stumpers is that there is a Stanley Cup winner that I'm trying to get you guys to guess. You got something going on there, Harper?
Freaking beard hair all over the place.
Comb your beard.
I'm shedding.
I give out 6 clues, and these two bozos have to guess what Stanley Cup champion I'm talking about. The reason we're doing this game is because Darcy, to my left over here, has encyclopedic knowledge on Stanley Cup champions from 1970 onwards, or so he claims. He's backed that up so far with a 17-0-1 record. That one having an incredible asterisk next to it because we don't actually know yet if Harper had Google open or not. That's neither yay or nay. So
We'll get it out of him.
We'll get it out of him.
We'll get it out of him.
Just have a few more, buddy. All right. So are you boys ready?
Let's go.
Let's go.
Okay.
1993 Montreal Canadiens.
Incorrect. You get one guess per round. You already wasted it.
That was his guess.
Yeah. We won our championship clinching game by 4 goals. 4 goals. That was guess number 1.
That's not vague at all.
I'm thinking about and it's not. I'm thinking about when Pittsburgh beat Minnesota. It's not that one, but they beat them like 8-1. That was the clinching game, so it's not that one. So 4 goals.
Jeez, I was like, Minnesota never made the. Oh, wait a second.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Well, I was thinking the Wild. That's why.
They had John Casey as their goalie.
Right. I wasn't thinking Minnesota North Stars.
Right. North Stars. Yes. No. Go ahead.
All right. Guess number 2. Harper, you can now guess. Nice. Or clue number 2. Let me open my paper here. You guys aren't cheating. We held our opponents to less than 20 shots against twice in the series. Game 2, their opponents had 16 shots, and Game 5, their opponents had 13 shots. 13 shots the entire game.
No, I got nothing.
You pulled an Andy Samberg there?
Mitch's clues are like, in the third period, one defenseman broke his right skate lace and had to go for repairs for 30 seconds and nobody noticed.
Including you guys. Well, you got to make the first 2 hard. I can't throw you like...
These are like harder than hard.
Like,
this team is
very hard.
in
so
New York. Oh, you got 2 guesses. Well, 3.
Yeah, but it's not that. Okay, so...
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like, I'm not going to give you that as a first 2.
I know.
They're hard to begin with, and they get easier as I go. Because I want you guys to win.
I'm just pulling your lace.
1992 Pittsburgh Penguins.
Incorrect. Darcy, anything? 3 seconds.
No.
Okay. Number 3. We had 5 more Canadian players than our opponent, but we weren't the Canadian team. We weren't the Canadian team, and they had 5 more Canadian players. Wait, was it more? Yes.
2000. Wait, when did Anaheim win the cup?
I don't know.
2007.
That's why I'm not taking guesses, because I don't know anything about Stanley Cup champions.
Oh,
I'm gonna say Anaheim, 2007. I don't know when.
That is correct.
Oh, he did it.
He did it. Fairly
did it.
square.
Enjoy the show. I'm leaving.
He retires. He's done.
Wow. Hell of a...
Did you know that?
Go with the year first?
Yes.
To see if,
I was
because
gonna say 2005.
when you said it, I was like, that's it. That wasn't going to be my guess. My guess was I was looking at something. I was thinking maybe the 89
Me too.
89 Flames against the Habs. So I was gonna say that, but then when you said Anaheim, I was like, oh, that's a Canadian team. Like, damn, that's
And
it.
they had 20
I knew the year.
something players that were Canadian.
Just for fun, do you know the Conn Smythe that year?
Jaguar?
No, he was 03 when they actually lost
Yeah.
to the
So
Devils.
Getzlav.
No,
I don't know.
Pronger, wasn't it?
no,
Niedermeyer?
yes,
Yes.
Scott Niedermeyer. Good job. That's 17-1 and
A fair one. You're
one
just
asterisk. It's a good thing we're a podcast.
we got a live video going on. He's just rubbing himself like the guys from South Park.
Oh.
Like the IT guys. Did you guys see that episode?
No, it's like Chris Farley and
Yeah, I know, but like the South Park. Anyways,
So that's a
what movie is that?
that's a long streak. I don't know if I'll ever be able to top that. 17.
17.
I knew
in
it
a
was
row.
coming to an end soon.
Well, you're running out of Stanley
Billy
Cup
Madison.
champions.
He goes, that is correct. He takes your shirt off.
So we'll have to go back an extra 20 years because I know those ones too.
Okay, well, we could try other things, but anyways, all right. So on to the next thing before we close out the show proper. We have our third topic, which is we're looking forward to the week. Did you boys look at the schedule this week ahead of time?
No.
It's a lot of no's going around here. Well, I did, and so what I'm looking forward to this week. First one is Boston versus Tampa on Saturday. Not first one, it's my only one.
So this week, you mean like leading up to Sunday?
From here on to next Thursday.
Oh.
That's right. So 1 week. My highlight of what I'm looking forward to is Boston against Tampa Bay on Saturday. Those are two teams fighting for first in the Atlantic Division. Tampa needs to right the ship because they're bleeding goals like you wouldn't believe. But they won 7-6 against the Philadelphia Flyers just last weekend.
They got such a good cushion that they don't care.
Well, no, you don't
have
want
100 points.
Yeah, but you don't want to go into the playoffs with your goalie letting in goals like he's Swiss cheese.
I would sit him.
Well, and that's what Washington's doing. They put Grubauer in nets tonight, and he won 7-2 tonight against the New York Islanders.
Oh.
Yeah, that was bad.
You know what I'm excited for?
What's that?
A Montreal-Toronto Maple Leafs rivalry.
Why?
Oh,
Just because there is none. And something's going to happen.
Okay, fair enough. Brendan Gallagher is going to get a tip in front of the net,
Yep.
and someone's going to beat his face in.
Nazem Kadri is going to...
Take a bunch of penalties.
Yep, and he's on my fantasy team, and he's going to whoop your ass.
Whatever. You can take the penalty in minutes category. I don't care. I'll take all the other ones.
I mean that Boston Tampa game is probably the most intriguing in the next few days. Doesn't look like it's going to be a first round matchup, but it certainly could be quite easily a second round matchup.
Yeah, because you got a lot of West teams coming out east, and a lot of obvious East going out west, and so you're not getting a lot of interdivisional play, so you're not getting those matchups.
So Boston's actually playing Tampa 3 more times before the end of the year. This is one of 3.
That's nuts.
Boston's also got 3 games in hand. Well, 2 after tonight, and they're losing to Florida. It looks like they're probably going to lose. And I believe they were 6-7 points back. So 2 games in hand, 7 back, but 3 coming up against Tampa. I'd have to say this is going to be a playoff preview, I think, for a second round. Second round, unless Toronto beats
somehow does something.
Well, they could, but it'd be tough, I think.
Good
They're
luck.
pretty far back when you look at the standings. Like, they're way far
Who,
back.
Boston?
Toronto.
Toronto, yeah.
Toronto.
No, I'm not worried about that. I mean, Toronto might give Boston a run in the first round. It could be a 5-6 game series. 6 maybe, tops. But that's going to be really, that'll be fun to watch for sure.
You know what we have to talk about next week is playoff format.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Is that going to change? Or there's a Vice Sports article that's out there right now that has like 40 different rule changes.
Dave Lozo. Yeah, I know.
It's unbelievable.
It's a pretty hot topic right now, and what I'm hearing, and which I kind of tend to agree with, is a play-in game, like a wild card game in, kind of like baseball. Baseball did it. It worked. People love watching one game. What's the most exciting game in a playoff series?
Game 7.
Overtime.
Game 7.
But what game?
Game 7.
Yeah, Game 7 overtime.
Game 7, the deciding game, and it's really worked for baseball. I'm a big baseball fan, and I was a little hesitant, especially baseball doesn't like changing anything. They're the game that is like
They're
resistant
starting
to
to.
rules.
They're starting.
But
Their minor league is putting a runner on second when they get to extra innings.
yeah, I don't know. I can't ever see.
Yeah.
I can't ever see the MLB doing that. To be honest with you.
But they're testing it.
But yeah, so I think that wild card game. But we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it next
teaser.
week. Little
It's a
teaser
teaser.
for next week.
We're going to put a little video up. Little teaser.
We'll tease it out.
Hey, there's also a tank battle going on next Wednesday.
Buffalo
Coyotes versus-
Coyotes.
That's a barn burner.
Who doesn't want 2 points?
I'll probably still watch it.
Me too.
Okay, so I'm just getting myself ready here for our Lock Dog Parlay, which is something that we do every week. I have my picks already, but I didn't write down who they're playing against, which is kind of important when you're doing a Lock Dog Parlay. So for the uninitiated, our Lock Dog Parlay is on Saturday. The NHL plays a ton of games, and so what we do is, as degenerate gamblers, we gamble on them. And so we pick a lock. So that's a team that is supposed to win or is favored to win that will win. We pick a dog, a team that is not favored to win that we think will win. And we pick a 3-team parlay. So 3 teams that we think are going to win. I'm going to start with mine. I don't know if you guys are ready.
You go ahead.
I'm ready.
All right. Perfect. I love it, Harps.
Well, are we going to talk last week real quick? How did everybody do? I know I got 4 out of 5.
I did not get any.
I also got 4 out of 5.
Okay.
Mine was not very good.
It was my dog. I got my lock on my parlay.
Yeah, I missed out on one of my parlays.
I did not do very well. So, well, that's fine. You know, that's okay. It's a 3-team parlay. It's hard to get.
80%. It's not bad.
On your parlays?
Not bad.
I mean, 80% last week.
Okay. Okay.
I'm like,
Wow, I was just checking.
4% year.
There you go. Okay, so my lock this week is the Florida Panthers at home to the Edmonton Oilers because Florida can't seem to lose, and the Edmonton Oilers are definitely losing all the time. My dog is the Buffalo Sabres. Where are the Buffalo Sabres?
Dead last.
Yeah, obviously dead last, but they're playing at home to the Chicago Blackhawks. That's still kind of a tank-ish battle, but the Chicago Blackhawks are obviously a better team. And then my parlay is the Toronto Maple Leafs, the St. Louis Blues, who are at home to the New York Rangers, and the Arizona Coyotes at home to the Minnesota Wild. That's my value pick. I always like to toss in one value pick into my parlay just to get that multiplier up.
I'm doing the same.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Go for it.
My lock is going to be St. Louis. They are at home against the Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
My dog is going to be Arizona at home against Minnesota. I still think they'll be a dog.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
My parlay, I'm going to take Tampa at home against Boston. That'll be a great game. And I actually want to watch it now, so I'm going to put money on it. So Tampa Bay. I got LA at home versus New Jersey. And for some reason, I just think that this will drive Harps crazy, but I think Montreal's going to beat Toronto in Toronto. And that's my value right there. That's my value pick in my parlay.
That's a good value pick.
Yeah.
I like it.
They play well against Toronto. It's just something. It's a different game.
And what are they doing against Pittsburgh right now?
It was 3-3 last I saw, but I'll tell you.
I need to know that before.
Before you take your pick, you need to know what they're doing on Thursday before what they do on Saturday?
I feel like he's going to take them as his lock.
No, because I'm not allowed, apparently.
Pittsburgh is up 4-3 with a minute left. 5-3. They just scored well. I said that.
Thank goodness. Okay, so Montreal will not beat them. So my lock is going to be Toronto Maple Leafs at home.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? Scrap that. I'm not touching that game. Scrap it.
Scrapped.
Delete it. Go back. So the Sharks are going to beat the Canucks. Canucks haven't let it.
Oh, of course.
They haven't scored a goal.
Since Brock Besser got injured.
Oh my God. It's awful.
Like 6 weeks.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Literally, they haven't scored a goal in 4 games.
How many goals did the Vancouver Canucks score before the end of the season?
Like, how many games do they have left? 10?
Let's say 10.
They'll score less than 20.
I'm saying 1.7 goals a game for the rest of the year. I'm saying 17 goals in 10 games.
17 goals in 10 games. I will say 15 goals.
Okay, hold on.
They could very well end up last in the league the way they're playing right now.
Goals by Van until end of year.
We'll revisit this next week. You always take notes, but we never revisit them because we're lazy schmucks.
I've got them all. Don't worry.
Hey, we're having a meeting next week, so we'll revisit all our notes.
Perfect. We'll have a meeting. We'll talk about things, people.
We should do a show on just...
Us meeting? I don't think anyone's going to watch that.
a show on all of our predictions, like a prediction show. We
There
did this,
you
we did
go.
this, we did this. We'll do
I like that. Let's do that.
Let's do it.
Perfect.
Ship it.
More content for you.
For you, listener.
And me.
Where were we? Lock.
You picked your lock with San Jose.
San Jose. My dog.
Yeah.
Ooh, the Ottawa Senators against the Blue Jackets.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, that's fair.
They're not playing too bad right now, honestly. I like the way they're playing.
Columbus is playing for their lives.
Yeah, they need to make the playoffs with the moves they made.
It's a good dog.
And then I will pick the Blackhawks,
Okay, yep.
the Panthers, and the Devils.
Ooh, who the Devils playing?
LA.
Oh,
Two teams that want to
Need points.
need points.
Fair enough.
The Devils just crushed Vegas.
Vegas 8-2, yeah, on the road. So that's pretty good. Well, that's our show. I want everyone to make sure to go to the website. It's ridingpineshow.com. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. It's all at Riding Pine Show. Make sure to download the podcast wherever you get your podcast. Rate and review the show because that helps us get anywhere. And get us on YouTube. We put a bunch of YouTube content out. Come see our beautiful, beautiful mugs. And
Click the link below me in the description.
There's not much below you at that point.
Well, there is. There's like the box where I'm sitting here.
All right, it's going to be below
under
hearts.
here, under the box, description, website. Click it, like it, comment. We want to make some money.
Love it.
Click that face too. This face. The Mike Warinsky face. That's what you said last week.
Mike Wazowski.
Mike Wazowski.
Okay, have a good week, everyone.
Peace. Thank you both.
See it.